What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone is doing all right. Not so much for me. I had a little rough Sunday. This was a very, very awkward Sunday where we did a lot of unfavorable things happen within the NFL. Cashed some tickets, not some good ones, had a hedge. It was just too much of an active day for me. I don't like to do that. I like to just bet my tickets and just ride out into the sunset and cash them before the Sunday night game. And this is something where it was a little bit of work. We had to do some work yesterday where we had to hedge out of some things live and just kind of cover all our bases. But the one that got kind of burned on yesterday was the Travis Kelce anytime touchdown. I kind of went big on that one because I thought that was about as good as gold. And we did see it. I mean, if you saw the volume, it definitely, the handicap was right. They absolutely peppered him with targets. Whether you like him, Taylor Swift, that doesn't really matter. But you give me 2-1 on Travis Kelce, I'm all about it. I took that. I took the first touchdown. I took 2 touchdowns. And subsequently, a parlay where I did have Taysom Hill anytime touchdown with Travis Kelce. That would have paid a nice little ransom there. But Taysom Hill 2 times in the end zone. So congrats to you guys that went back and looked at his prior performance against the Atlanta Falcons, where he had 2 touchdowns the last time they played. So tip your cap. That's a great one for you guys that won. And if you were a winner on Sunday, let me know down below in the comments. Or on Discord. Great Monday we have planned for you guys tonight. 2 games coming to you guys live. If you haven't done so, please smash that like button and subscribe down below. Let's talk some football. Okay, first game we got going on here is the Tennessee Titans and the likes of the Miami Dolphins. We're going to look into this game where the Dolphins, not sure exactly who's coming out as quarterback, but they are laying 2.5 at home. Hurricane's over. It's blue over. I think it'd be worse if we were in Tennessee, honestly. But now we get the Titans. You can get a juiced up 3 in the market. This number has climbed towards Miami. So we'll see what happens. I do think that we do get Tyler Huntley as a little bit of an upgrade, okay, from Skylar Thompson, in my opinion. Miami still has their skill. They still have Tyreek Hill. They still have Jalen Waddle. They still have the likes of their running back core that does seem to be getting back Raheem Mostert for this game. So kind of a closet little sneaky plus play here. And it does void if he does not suit up, but maybe a little bit of sneaky Raheem Mostert back into the fold. Take him anytime touchdown scorer. I could see him and a chain both scoring in this contest if they do get the ability to get into the red zone and if Mostert does suit up. But this is what we see where the Titans, they have gotten a little healthier. This is something where you look at DeAndre Hopkins. It seems to be, getting closer, and this is just where we look into this game as kind of why would you bet this, okay? If you want to wake up Tuesday and say, well, I nailed the Tennessee-Miami game, it's a pick-em on Monday night between 2 teams that honestly have 0-0 to play for, in my opinion, and I know it's early in the season, but guys, this is kind of where we're at. Tennessee and Miami without Tua. This is kind of one of those games where we're going to wake up and Miami's going to blow the brakes off of them, and they're going to have a double-digit win, or this is going to be a low back-and-forth ping-pong kind of game where we do get a lower total, and there's a lot of turnovers, a lot of sloppy football. And that's kind of why I see it. That's the only reason why I would take Tennessee as a teaser partner, maybe take them up above the 7. But that's kind of where I'm at. And my official bet for this game will be the under. Now, the under has a the under does have a little bit less of the money. But for this, it seems to be that the public is more on the over. So we will go towards the side of the money. I do bet. I have a propensity to bet primetime unders more times than overs. That's just me. It cashes, and sometimes you just have to blindly bet them, especially in situations where you have a little bit of uncertainty at quarterback. I know it's set at 37.5. It's the worst of the number. We were able to get a 39 earlier in the week. You can find a 38 out there, and that's what I ended up taking. So we will lose 1 point of value, but I did take the under 38 as an official play. And we look at this game a little deeper. Okay, and kind of the historical kind of perspective on this, we could talk about the Tennessee Titans. They have hit the under in 6 of their last 8 games on the road, and also against the spread. We can look at the Tennessee Titans have covered 12.5%, one out of 8 games. Okay, in their last 8 games on the road. So for me, it's a lean towards Miami. I just trust them a little bit more scoring the football. I know the sharper side's probably Tennessee, if you want to call it that. For some reason, it seems like you just got to take the shitty team on the road, and that's where the sharps are. That's what it was this weekend. But anyways, I digress. And Miami is 10-3 in their last 13 games as a favorite. So it would be a lean towards taking Miami, and my official play would be on the under. In the prop market, we're going to look at Devon Achane, okay? And this is where we're going to dive into kind of his rushing attempts. Now, this is data courtesy of Outlier. It's a very good betting platform. This is what I use because if I didn't use this, I'd be kind of scrambling a lot. Like last night, for example, prime example, I had a parlay leg where the only thing I needed was Lamar Jackson over 40. Thought he might not run the ball with a big league, so I said, hey, let's go check out the unders. Went on Outlier, and it was all across the board. Some sports books were offering 35 yards, 44 yards rushing, 58 yards rushing. So having the over 40 in a parlay, I did come back and take the under 55.5 and ended up creating a window. So ended up hitting both bets, so that was a great one. He actually landed on 54. But that's how I use it. I shop around for the best number, and I don't really have to waste time logging into different apps and whatnot, or driving to the sportsbook, which is what I do, and I use my apps to hedge. But anyways, that's kind of what we go into when we talk about Devon Achane. Looking at this, we're going to take the rushing attempts. We're going to go under. Okay, with his rushing attempts, 13.5. I just think this is a value spot with Mostert playing or not playing. This has went 10. It's hit 4 out of the last 5. Okay, and now he did have an outlier against Buffalo, which surprisingly enough, when they were getting, I guess you'd say annihilated, he had 22 carries. But anyways, he's averaging 11 carries. I think with Mostert coming back, it's going to add to the value in this play. It's hit 7 out of its last 10. I'm going to take the under 13.5 carries in a chain minus 120 prop bet. Okay, now that's going to be it for the Miami-Tennessee game. Let's talk a little bit about the Seattle-Detroit. We look at Seattle coming in here, getting 32% of the money, conversely 24% of the bets. So the sharper side on the money line looks to be the likes of the Seattle Seahawks. I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid, though. We saw last year this game was a shootout. We can talk about the numbers there. We can look into kind of that 37-31 overtime outcome that we had. This was in Detroit. And now we get a rematch where Seattle's coming to town. West goes east. And Geno Smith had a hell of a game, and that was where Tyler Lockett secured 2 touchdown grabs. Have Lockett go tonight in fantasy because of that sole reason, so let's hopefully continue the magic from last year. But we're going to look in this game for a lot of reasons, and it's going to be another one. We're going to be all over points in this one. I know there are some sharper people on the under, but I'm going back to the well. This is one where we're going to go over, but we're going to attack it a little differently, okay? We're going to keep the door open for Seattle to have a clunker on the road. I do think Detroit's defense is playing a little bit better, and this is something where we look at Seattle's defense, doing well, but they play a lot of zone, and I think that's just something where we do look for David Montgomery to have a lot of work on the ground. So, but let's talk about it a little bit deeper because this is kind of what I look into. Within that, we do see a little bit more of the handle is on the over in terms of the number 46.5. So we'll see what happens with that. But for me, guys, this is something where there's going to be a lot of discrepancy in kind of how these defenses play, okay? And that's kind of where we look into what, the new defensive coordinator for, I guess you'd say not defensive coordinator, but what Mike Macdonald is doing up there in Seattle. I just don't know exactly how it's going to work out. A lot of people think he's going to stifle the Detroit offense. I call not so fast. I think Detroit's kind of starting to get their groove back. I look for David Montgomery to find pay dirt. That's going to be one of my best bets. We'll pull that up here on the screen very shortly. But I do want to talk to you guys a little bit about what the trends are for this game. Detroit is 6-2 in their last 8 games against top 10 scoring defenses. The over has hit in the last 7 of 8 games where Detroit was facing top 10 scoring defenses, and the Detroit Lions are 6-2 against the spread in their last 8 games as a favorite. Now, I don't really bet betting trends, but this is something we're going to lead this to kind of aid us. I think Detroit got a positivity back with their injury report. We do get Sam Laporta back into the fold. A couple good guys on defense that are really going to help out. And I look for Detroit to kind of find their way once more, establish the run game, which would lend towards taking it under here in this spot. The only thing that scares me is the Lions, right? They did hold the Arizona Cardinals to 13 points, kind of dominating that performance. They allowed less than 300 yards of offense to the Arizona Cardinals, and this is something where we look into kind of Jared Goff losing that game against the Seahawks in that overtime thriller that Detroit should have won by all accounts. So for me, this is going to be Detroit all the way. We're going to take that half point off the board. We're going to take -4 for Detroit, and we are going to take David Montgomery anytime touchdown. And instead of betting the over, I'm going to open the door for an under and just kind of give myself a cop-out, some insurance here. We're going to take Detroit over 26.5 team points. Now, I don't really like doing that too often, but that's 3 touchdowns and 2 field goals. That gets us home, assuming we make all our extra points. We're getting the worst of the number. This was 3.5 for Detroit, but I do like the Lions at home in the spot, and I do think there's a chance that we do get more offense than people are expecting, but I think that Detroit wins, so I'm going to take their over in terms of their team total, because that way, in case Detroit's defense does show up and Seattle gets stifled, I think that we still have a chance to cover the over 26.5. All right, so that's kind of where we're at. Here are some numbers to back it up. We look in David Montgomery touchdowns. 8 of the last 10, he has found the end zone in 4 games in a row. Let's try to make it 5 tonight. Hopefully we buck this trend because it seems like he gets 4 games in, misses 1, 4 games in, misses 1. But I think they're going to try to really establish an identity on the ground early, and that's where I look for Detroit to take advantage of David Montgomery in the red zone for a touchdown. So that is probably one of my best bets, if not my best bet in the game, that we could look in Detroit for terms of their points. They've hit the 6 out of their last 10, averaging 28 points per game, and 2 duds where they did have 16 and 20 against teams where they really should have scored some offense. Okay, that's kind of interesting. All right, against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Arizona Cardinals, these are games that would be probably higher totals when they were set. So very fun to talk about. And then you can conversely look at it, 31 points against San Francisco. So Detroit does have the ability to score. I know that was last year in the playoffs, but we look into the season for 2024. This is where we do have 3 games to go off of. We're 26 points, 16 points, and 20 points were numbers that we all kind of cashed on in terms of the Detroit offense looking to get above 25.5 points. Okay, so correction, yeah, that is 25.5 points minus 112. I misspoke. So 25.5 gives us 26. We could miss a field goal, or we could have an explosion of field goals and end up covering. But that's where I'm going to be at. Those are my best bets. If you guys haven't done so, please subscribe right down below. Also, if you want to give back to the channel, consider being a channel member. Sign up right down below. All you do is sign up on YouTube. It's a way we don't charge for picks. If you want to give back, become a channel member today. Also, links down below for Outlier if you want to enjoy a 7-day free trial. All right. Appreciate you guys. Good luck with your picks, and we'll see you guys tomorrow in the next one. Cheers.